know about these updates. So, what were we prepping for last time? What did I leave you guys with? We talked about how... Oh yeah, last time was immediately after, like, the kind of cleanup session, the prepare for everything else session. I should, I'll mark that later. See, you're excited for the new Zelda game? I am, it's true. I am. But also, that was definitely just the YouTube video that was in front of me at the time. But it does look neat. I'm into it. You know what's cool about that game is that you know that it all ends horribly and that everything you're fighting for is for naught. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the horrible downfall of the heroes of Hyrule. But yeah, Hyrule Warriors was a great game, and I was super into it. So I'm excited for more. I'm excited for more. I think it was one of the best Dynasty Warriors style games that I've like ever played. So it might have been just the best. So like more original mechanics in there could be good. I haven't played a Hyrule Warriors game yet. It's good. I recommend the one on the Switch, which I need to like play through. But I was gonna play through it. I don't know. Whatever. Uh-oh. Bandwidth, please. Bandwidth, please. Don't drop frames. Everything okay over there? It seems like it's fine now. Oh no, it's still in the yellow. Don't. Okay. I'm gonna trust you, Comcast. I'm gonna trust that we're gonna be okay. All right. So, as I was starting to say, we were wrapping up the cleanup session, and that is what I was telling you guys about previously. So just like exposing the party to new threats. Famous last words. Yeah. You are not wrong. So yeah, just kind of being like, yeah, so the bad stuff that you know about over in the rot, it's getting more rotten more and more every day. Now it's rotting in your general direction. So starting to threaten Eden a little more directly. So you might want to deal with that soon. And then also they, Solus, the new Emperor of Eden and player character played by Moto, he became the new Emperor of Eden, and then immediately had an assassination attempt from someone from like a presumed ally state up in Lunderkirk. Lunderkirk is a presumed friend of Eden, and this assassin came apparently worshiping old gods and everything, and that wasn't great to hear about. And then the party discovered that they basically have the key to a portal that brings them to a fort that they have conveniently purchased from Eden before. And they're able to just jump there basically whenever they want. And a couple of other places, they have seen the same kind of device here, although I don't know if they know that. And I'm not going to reveal the other one because Moto might be lurking, because I usually let him sit in on prep. So I'm just not going to... There's more. I introduced this device. I said, like, this crystal, anywhere it's attuned to, you can teleport to those places. Those places are usually going to be ruins of the ancient floating city that have fallen to Earth somewhere. So they know of a couple of ruins. They know they've seen one of these in the ruins. They could probably put the rest together. So they teleport here. And they hear the trebuchets on the fort firing, the creaking of wood firing into the water, which, yes, is a retcon from the end of the previous session and the start of the most recent session. We shuffled some things around a little bit. So, heard the trebuchets firing. Comcast, don't. I see that red. I see that red box. You just stay green. Just keep the KBPS above 2,000. We'll be okay. So they teleport over. Oh. Real mad that this is happening right now. All right, so they teleport over to the fort. I should have started a local recording so I could just keep going and not worry. I usually export from Twitch to YouTube. So if the Twitch VOD gets fucked up, it's really bad for me. It's really annoying for me. Anyway. So then they go up on the walls. They're like, all right, what's going on? What are they shooting at? I look over. There's like several boats, 3 boats down here in the water. I do a rotation like they're all several miles away. No, they're really just right off the shore. These trebuchets are firing into the channel here to be like, we have range of the channel. Don't fucking try it. Don't try to get in here. Don't go to the channel. Don't go to the channel. We're firing. We'll murder your boats. And the party's like, okay, great. Seems to have stopped these invading boats that we don't recognize. Well, that we do recognize. They're boats from the island cities that are out this way. Out far this way. And we don't know why they're here yet, because they just arrived when the party arrived. So they saw these 3 boats being held at bay by the fort. And they also saw more sails off in this direction, which I don't know if that is nautically sound, being able to see 25 miles from the top of a hill. I don't know. I don't know these things. I'm going to say that you can see sails 25 miles away from the top of a rather large hill. That is my guess. The players seemed okay with it. I'm going to assume they don't know any more about like nautical sight lines than I do. And then, so as the party is standing there, Ludwig, one of the player characters, played by Nathan, fear the truck in Twitch chat when he's around. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go talk to the council in Eden about this. I'm gonna let them know that we've got some pirate problems, some boat problems here. There's like a whole ass fleet in the bay. So I'm gonna go talk to them about that. Party's like, sounds great. That's good. You do that. We have a teleporter. We'll might as well make use of it. As they're discussing this, there are some seers on these boats that cast like a fog spell. They put a blanket of fog out between the boats and the shore to make it harder to see the boats, harder to hit the boats with the trebuchets, and make it so that the boats, the pirate crew can like get on some rowboats and like row in. They basically put a not a boarding party, but a shore party together between all the 3 boats out there, including Nathan's new character, whose name I definitely remember. Worm Geffen. He is a half-orc fighter, and connoisseur of artifacts belonging to... This is where things may get slightly convoluted, perhaps. Connoisseur of artifacts belonging to the Forgotten Gods, which are... There's been, like, 3 eras of gods that have now been established. There's Forgotten Gods that are very old. They were on this planet originally, on this world originally. There are the old gods, the 4, who came and, like, sealed all of them away. Locked them into, like, pocket dimensions, put them to sleep, basically, so that they couldn't have power in the world, and then, like, took over this nice, mana-filled world to, like, make their own. And then there's, like, new divinities after the old gods, the middle gods, have been sealed away. Using that same kind of technique. One of the gods gave the mortals that technique of sealing gods away to turn on the other 3. So that is kind of the god timeline in brief. So Worm Geffen is all about the old gods, the Forgotten Gods, the ones that are the more minor ones that have been sealed away. So yeah, he is here searching for one of these artifacts. And she's like kind of posing as one of the pirates, kind of using them to get close for now. And rowed ashore with them. And then like just immediately ditched them. Just immediately after getting on shore, like the facade was done. He was like, all right. It was like there with the shore party being like, all right, let's go. Let's get the blood of these Edenians. We'll go up the hill. We'll take the fort. It'll be ours. And then he's like patting them on the back as they run by. And yeah, go. And then just in the fog, just runs sideways, just goes off in the other direction. Starts climbing the hill under cover of fog and the other invaders. So yeah. So party is here on this one. Yeah, party is in this fort. This is the fort that they own, the one that I was pointing to on the map. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm like remembering things as I'm like looking at this map. So, it's kind of like a little weird, got a little stretched out here, but the general idea is that the main thrust of the pirate forces were coming, oh my god, coming up this way on like a long path that winds down the hill. So they were like getting peppered by arrows and stuff as they came up. They didn't think there would be player characters in this fort, blowing them up with fireballs and such as they arrived, and just generally better shots. So they would have been fine under cover of shields with, you know, against the NPCs and such. But player characters mean a little bit more business. So a lot of them, about half of the pirates, half of the invaders got shredded before they even arrived at the top. That was like not, you know, we kept it pretty freeform. I was like, all right, you got this many turns to like blast them, and they'll make this much progress every turn. And like, here's when they'll be in certain range increments. And it worked pretty well. The players kind of liked, they said they liked how narrative and freeform it was, how like theater of the mindy it was, given that it spanned such a long distance and like so many rounds. They probably also liked that they got to just pepper enemies with like no threat of like retaliation for a while. Meanwhile, like I said, Worm is coming up this way. He's got like a plan to spider up the wall, and he does that. There's like the A and B plot of this battle is like Worm sneaking in. We'll just cover that. Worm's whole journey, he comes up the hill as his former companions are fighting over here. Comes up here, like walks into this room as a bunch of people are clearing out, as like they're being commanded to go elsewhere as like the pirates are making progress. Walks in here. As this command is being given, one guy like turns around. Actually, he like climbs up on this tower. He's climbing up on this tower, walks over to these stairs as this like one soldier is like looking down over the edge, and then Solus is like, you up there, get down here. And the soldier like turns around and sees Worm, and Worm just like waves like, hi there. The soldier's like, who are you? Then he's like, I'm with them. And rolls well on the deception check, and the soldier's like, yeah, okay, that sounds right. All right, I'm gonna, your other guy's commanding me to do something, I'm gonna leave. He like runs down here. Worm like comes down, starts disguising himself as like a soldier of Eden with some relic he has, some like hat of disguise. Meanwhile, pirates are coming up. Mooks are getting blasted here and there, left and right, getting shot at, getting taken out. The party's like focusing on, there's two people that they're focusing on. One is like the leader. I forget his name now. Might just be King. I think his name was King. Who was some kind of like sorcerer, some kind of something. Used mist form? Gaseous form. And he started like floating up to this window while Solus was taking shots at him. There was another guy, who's Rook, who's up here, who was like, had a big shield, big burly shield, walking out front. He was getting peppered the whole way up. Didn't die. King does die. Like, Solus is just taking magical bow shots at him. Eventually, like, cracks through the gaseous form defenses. And this guy just dies, just falls on the rocks. The like, leader of this group gets taken out before combat even really, truly starts. The rest of the group gets up here. Rook is like, damn, King hasn't opened the gate. King was supposed to open the gate. What do we do? Well, he doesn't say what do we do. The rest of the soldiers are like, what do we do? Rook walks up here, activates a trinket that he has on his axe that the party could have acquired if they took him out earlier. Takes a good crack at the wall and just disintegrates it. And they get inside. And they all start climbing these stairs. The last like group of pirates started as a group of 40. By the time they get in here, it's like 10. No, it's 5 by the time they get in here. They got real shredded everywhere else. And then Sonus does Sonus things. He throws a wind ball in there and just like all of them fail their save. Rook ends up unconscious. One guy succeeds his save and gives up immediately, and Sonus, in doing Sonus things, takes out just so many pirates. Just so many so many pirates in like one shot. Yeah. So that was basically the end of that combat. Is just when the pirates got inside and we're going to be able to fight properly, they take a last blast and get wrecked. So I don't know. Like I said, re-explaining that fight, like the fight itself didn't actually take all that long. It was pretty smooth, pretty quick, pretty snappy, had good flow. The players enjoyed it. Yeah. They were like, I don't know. I had like their general formation down here. Just like laid out, you know, I'd be like, all right, they're walking in like this formation in the gray mist of like the outside world. They're like not in range of your stuff, but this is like the formation they're walking in, right? And so they'd be able to like kind of plan things as they were like walking up. They tried to be more spread out than that because fireballs, but like at some point Sonus can fly now for like a round at a time or a minute at a time or something. So he like flew down and lightning bolted like 3 people who happened to be standing in a line, and I don't know, it was nice, it was fun. I enjoyed it. Good practice in terms of, I don't like Theater of the Mind Pathfinder very much, because I kind of think it's suicide. But it worked okay for this distance combat where like stuff's just getting kind of lobbed back and forth. Helps that it was one-sided. Yeah. And like, I don't know, the party felt like they were able to prepare some, and that was cool. I wish I could have done more of what I wanted was like, you have time to prepare, but you can't just take 5 rounds of shots at them. And I wish I had come up with like a better solution for that, which I could have just done. I could have just hand waved some magic, like, hey, there's a wind wall blocking all your projectiles. How unfortunate. If you want to fight them, you'll have to wait and prepare, or fly down there yourself. I could have done something like that, but this worked out okay. I was pretty okay with it. I will say, this map, the way I copied it in, this map like didn't line up with anything, and it was a mess, and I don't know how I would have made it better. I don't know, like the proportions got all kind of out of whack when I was downloading it, and I tried to stretch it, and that didn't work because like these lines aren't lining up perfectly. I don't know. It was a whole mess. It was a whole thing. Because this isn't like a super well formatted source map to begin with. It was like good in Roll20, and then I pulled it out of Roll20 and it didn't work as well. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, after that, Worm discovers that the combat is over. Nathan's new character after he's temporarily or permanently retiring Ludwig, we're not sure yet. But he's playing anew this like half-orc fighter from now on. So he's like snuck inside. He hears that the sound of combat has stopped, and he just shrugs, and like he walks over here. The relic is inside. He's trying to get to the relic. Walks over here, gets caught by Solus because he's just walking out in the open. Solus is like, "Who are you?" And then the soldier was like, "He said he was with you." Solus is like, "He's not. He's a liar. He's probably with the pirates." And like draws his bow. And then there's like a back and forth, a pretty good characterful back and forth where like Worm's just acting casually. He's just like, nah, I'm not with them. I'm with the academy across the continent. I look for relics, trying to bring a relic back. Do you know of one? Do you have a relic that I can take from you? This lasted for a while, and they came to a pretty good player character-y style deal where Worm's like, I'll help you deal with these pirates. I know some stuff about them. I've been traveling with them for a while. Some of them might still think I'm one of them. I might be able to help you sneak in. I'll help you deal with that if you give me this relic. And that was kind of a trade that they have set up for now. Yeah. I forgot what I said. I definitely told Nathan what the relic looked like, and then like, oh yeah, it was like a pentagram with like a animal skull on it, and he said it was like a ferret skull or something. I think that's what he went with, which was like an interesting choice. I was expecting like rat or, you know, something. Ferret was a surprise. I don't know why it was a surprise. They're both rodents, both perfectly passable rodents, so it should have been fine, but caught me off guard. I was like, okay, great. So that is what is up for trade. Party goes back to Eden, warns the council about this piracy business, says we're gonna just go see what we can do. If you could send the army to Castell, that would be great. That would be great. That would be a big help. And then they teleported back on over with a couple of people from Eden to like help fix up the fort, basically. So yeah. And that's mostly where we ended, which is why, again, don't really know what the players are doing next session. We'll see, I guess. The boats are still technically like chilling here for a minute, depending on how fast the players act, because they were only gone for like an hour or two. They don't know that like all their people died yet. They'll presume pretty quick when they don't send any kind of word or anything, but you know. They thought this was going to be an easy fort to take because they saw like a skeleton crew on top. Again, didn't expect the player characters. Never expect the player characters. Except now they kind of will. The boats are going to leave, report in on some of this stuff. Then the player characters are going to be a more known quantity. Oh, there's like a cute moment as well where like... there's a cute moment where Solus, like, I don't know. Solus asked Worm who he was, and he was like, from the Academy, Hunter of Artifacts, from a certain group there. He's like, who are you? And Solus was like, the Emperor of Eden. Then I demand you stand down. And Worm's like, good one. Who actually? And then like one of the soldiers like looks at Solus and is like, wait, you're Lord Abishan. And Solus like nods. And then Worm like looks back and forth and he's like, wait, really? Crap. So that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Yeah. So, combat. So I think the intro sequence there was fun, for me anyway, as I'm like introducing the character, introducing these pirate crew members that I thought were going to last more than the first hour of gameplay / combat. And getting all that set up, that was pretty fun. I thought it was a nice, smooth intro. Felt a little better than some of the story stuff I've been doing recently. More natural, felt good. Was able to hop into it very easily and quickly. Combat went well. For having no idea, like, I thought they were going to wait at the gate, and they started, like, engaging as the pirates were coming up the hill. Worked out pretty well for kind of doing the theater of the mind thing, kind of ad hoc, kind of a spur of the moment. Yeah. That was good. Players seemed to enjoy all of it and had no complaints, so yeah. Lessons learned from it, like, having like the relative formation there was good and helpful for the players. Like, even though it was theater of the mind being very clear, like, here's their formation, here's how they're walking up the hill, and here's how many rounds, like, you know, they'll be 100 feet away. Sorry, they'll be like 200 feet away, then 150, then 100. They're making it in 50-foot increments while raising their shields. Like, having it all very clearly laid out is still important in Pathfinder. So that was... like, I realized that pretty quick, and just showing the formation was a good, quick solution to that. That I didn't have at first, just kind of came up with. So, yeah, that was nice. And... yeah, I have no idea what this, like, blood artifact that Worm's looking for is gonna do. I'm gonna ask Nathan... so, like, while I was preparing for this session, I was also preparing for a Dungeon World game that I ran on Course Channel, which I was talking about incessantly last time I was live, or last time I was doing Pathfinder stuff, so probably y'all are aware of that. So I'm, like, kind of... I don't know. That game's influence is seeping in terms of, like, asking players questions about things. And, like, since this artifact ties into Worm's backstory a bit, it's cool to get some player input on what this artifact might be about over time. Not, like, exact powers or anything, but get some flavor first, backfill that flavor into what the item actually does. So that's kind of my plan with this pentagram with a ferret skull. And probably some other magic items coming up soon. And... just some other plot points in general. Yeah, a little more play to find out and a little less prescriptive, I guess. Using the players to help me generate ideas in my own head. I'm probably at my best when I'm doing things like that. So. And that's been, like, waning a little bit recently, and I think that, like, all of that, I don't know. I think my slight decline in Why am I thinking? I'm blanking on the word. I've been worse at improvisation lately. Been a little like sloppy with it, and I think that makes the rest of my game suffer a lot. A lot of like what I do is based on improvisation and like picking up what the players are interested in, things like that. And like after, yeah, I don't know. It's just something I haven't been doing as well lately, so I want to get better at that again. Bring more of that in. So, yeah, that was that. It was a good session. I'm looking forward to the next one. And to that end, dear player characters, we're going to move on to the session start, or session prep stuff. So, I may have just made like 3 bookmarks to this exact moment on accident.